the draft or influences draft at all. I
Yep.
don't think it will.
Well, we shall see. Well, we're going into game number 3, draft right here. Team Evo in first pick, bans away the Lancelot right off the bat. Don't want to see that. Lancelot in this particular patch is so annoying to deal with, right? It does a lot of damage, does have iframes as well. I think the numbers on his passive just tweaked way too much, in my opinion, in this patch.
Yeah. Baxia is always gonna not see the light of day. You got the Predator and all, very huge respect ban over onto Hades. Typically, we open up the Zunshin, so if they want to leave that open, okay, Evo's not gonna get their hands on that.
Yeah, so it feels like we're going through a very fast-paced bans right here. Earlier just now in game number 2, the ban away the Hayabusa, the Lancelot, and boxing for the side. Team Evo flash bans away the Juicin. Team Evo now this time around bans the Juicin instead. There's also a potential CC that was that could potentially be banned out by Team Flash. Don't want to give it over to Gear. There you go.
Yep. So first pick, a lot of options right here. Okay, always go for the Kimi or the Gacha Gacha.
Wow.
I think Gacha Gacha has a 100% win rate in this this matchup.
Yeah, not only just that, right? Like you've also got Gacha Gacha being selected almost every game today, right? Like if you take a look as of today, Gacha Gacha has been picked I think like 4 to 5 times already today, and we've like got quite a few number of games. So it's a very, very strong aroma as well because of the AOG. You being able to just land support, and of course the tankiness, and also will be able to repel the damage very easily. You can see Team Flash right here picking up the Hayabusa and the Kimi for themselves.
Gacha Gacha, very good gap closer. I'm surprised they actually opened up the Grok though. But I don't think it's too much of a matter. I don't think Evo will pick the Grok anyways. In Dangerous Grass, I think Grok kind of works out well in terms of checking the brushes. But I do like the Hayabusa as well as the Kimi. Evo, on the other hand, though, you have to find a way to be able to deal with that. And typically, you go for the Juicin, but now it's not utilized. You can always go for the Farsa if you want to.
Juicin, definitely a good counter against the Gacha Gacha. If you notice, Flash SG, they banned the Juicin, and then after that, they pick up the Gacha Gacha. Now, Team Evo, Aether picking up Joy. Once again, another Snowbody hero, and Gear this time around picks up the Arlot. I love the Arlot in this current patch. I was playing around as an Arlot gold lane for fun just a few days ago, and it's just, you build him like pure damage, his numbers are actually very crazy now. You see the Grok finally locked in for the side of Team Flash.
A lot more sustain as well. Definitely banning out the Ruby to prevent Evo from going on for a double spider side lane. Ruby definitely is one of the more contested heroes at this point because of the chain CCs that it can bring, and of course the sustainability coming in from the spell vent. You've got both teams actually banning out and taking out the EXP threats. No more Yuzhong.
There's also the potential Lapu that could, Team Evo could potentially take that away. And all of a sudden, Bad doesn't really have a lot of heroes to play with left, especially when right now you got the CC Bad away already. So yeah, we're running out in terms of the fight pool, unless you pull a Guinevere in the EXP lane like what Diablo likes to do. Cho gets taken away by the side of Team Flash already, letting respect over to the side of Van that could potentially bring that into the gold lane. There you go. Lapu eliminated by the side of Team Evo.
So Flash SG has quite a bit of options right here. They could definitely go in for the gold lane first. And typically that is the Granger. Phoenix has had a lot of success with the Granger as well. But against a Joy, it will be much more difficult to hit those bullets down. But then you don't really have to worry about that because this draft really is kind of made for that Granger. You don't really have thick tanky boys to be able to soak up that damage.
Yeah, and Granger works pretty well with the Kimi, right? We've seen it before where the Kimi would shred, and then after that, as the camera pans, focuses onto Lord Vanix himself right there. Potentially a Granger pick from the side of Team Flash. This combo has worked really well in any odds. But for the side of Team Evo, though, there's a lot of CCs that, Team Flash needs to look out for. Heck, even a 1-1. Yeah. Or maybe we bring in the Harif as well, because Harif does have the Zaman Force as he zip it around, creates a shield, does have, you can bring a Purify for him as well, and he has an innate CC timer reduction. I think this is actually a very good pickup from the side of Team Flash. However, Alice is also wide open for both these two teams to take.
Yeah, I think Alice will definitely go into the hands of Flash SG. Evo doesn't want to risk it too much, I feel. They would go for more traditional marksman this time around. Granger is still wide open. Ven could definitely still go for that one. And then, that's the Khalid and the Valentina. So it's going to be the Arlot in the gold lane or Khalid in gold lane? This is Arlot in gold lane, right?
Khalid gold lane, perhaps. Arlord is a little bit awkward because you don't really have a lot of good range to be able to deal with a marksman gold lane as well. But whereas if you're a Khalid, you can basically just ego challenge at level 1, slice and dice, wave clear, and then move on. So basically the same thing as you do. How it's basically you play him like how you use Cho or how you use a Sun as well. But now, I love what Team Evil has prepared for themselves, right? The Valentina right there is a insurance policy. Just in case if Team Flash wants to go for the the Alice as well, which is a potentially good
get the
pick,
TOR
right?
for themselves.
And also the Tectonic Charge. But at the same time, Team Evil on Sayla can always pick up the Grok Tectonic Charge for himself.
Like you picked up, you have the Alice going to hands of Flash SG. I think how this is going to play out is Evil needs to ramp this up. I feel like Evil's draft is very, very early game. If they don't secure the early game, I think Flash SG will take control of that one. They have a lot of insurance policies in the late game. If this game goes past the 18-minute mark, I think Evil doesn't really have that range damage. They're all very high committal. If you throw one body, everyone goes as well. Even that Valentina, you have a short range mage as well on the side of Evil.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier, in my opinion, to work with the side of Flash SG's draft.
Man, oh man. If I was Evil fan, I'll be scared right now. But, hey, they're cooking. They're putting something in the oven. And I think they're going to make it work. But for Flash, though, it's a bit more traditional. It's a bit more reliable in a way. It's just how Bear is comfortable playing this Alice along. We've seen him not being too comfortable in the first game, so maybe he's woken up a little bit from that Lapu game from the from match number 2. And right now, game number 3, we're still on even ground. It's going to be a very long marathon for all of us.
Especially when you go into something more than the best of 3, right? The game all of a sudden becomes a marathon, not a sprint. As you go into game number 3, HRLs, this is it. The winner will have at least one more, will be one step closer into the grand finals, whereas the other one has to go through the scenic route.
You don't want to go through that scenic route, but sometimes it does kind of make sense to go through the scenic route. You get a little bit more warm up in the morning.
Smell the flowers just a little bit?
Yeah, warm up in the morning and then play a bit more in the afternoon. But hey, you don't want to be on the losing end of that.
Yep, Vanek said early on, if you notice the HP bars, Van on the Khalid definitely will have a big advantage unless Vanek was able to outpoke the Khalid. Another thing that will go well for the side of Team Evil is that Van can also start hard ganking or counter jungle against Team Flash, so that's something that that's also in the books for the side of Team Evil.
Yeah, I think the bottom side will be an unmovable object versus an unstoppable force. Gears just going to heal everything back up with the built-in spell vamp and heals. You got Evil as well. I think starting that early game rotation. In theory, Flash SG should have a lot more wave clearing potential, but I think they're just holding on to that wave. I think they want to lure Evil out of that the mid side and try to get that clear going.
Yep. Well, I mean, it's a lot easier to execute than Flash, right? Like what I mentioned earlier just now. You see, in order for Gear to basically output a decent amount of damage, you need to land everything right. Whereas if you're an Alice, you just go in, tap 1-2 skills, and boom, you're just absorbing all the HP bars.
But a very slow start for both sides. They got trapped underneath. Powerful able to dash out. Sayla taking a huge brunt of the damage from Curtiz, but here comes Barrett TOR out of nowhere. Sayla not expecting that one at all.
Yeah, definitely right. Barrett's actually continuing on. We're going to have a bit of a trade. Ada landing down the damage. Gear picking up a double kill though.
That's a shadow kill as well. Here comes Hades trying to take up one more constellation prize, but Gear able to heal up, not before he goes down. Another one for the books. It's 2-2, and the turtle wide open.
And you're actually learning. Hold on, Hades.
Hades powerful, able to come in. One more hit, we'll be able to get shut down. But here comes Aether securing that turtle from the bottom side. Ven needs to use their Raging Sandstorm to get out in the flicker out of the way. As both these two teams, the Juggernauts, knocking heads.
Literally duking out very, very aggressively, right? And also another thing to take note is that had Team Evil did not secure the turtle for themselves, Flash SG is gonna snowball out of control, right? Because of how Hades actually picking up 2 kills earlier just now. But of course, Hades picking up 1 kill and also 1 assist. But of course, with Aether securing the turtle, all of a sudden they are back to equal footing. for now, but we need to take a look towards the later parts of the game, and we also need to see Aether snowballing on this Joy. Take a look at the items right here. It is a Fairy Hammer secured but for quite a few of these players, right? For the Sign of Gear and also Ven.
You know, speaking of Ven, I think this Khalid is struggling a little bit against Vanix. Like, he doesn't have a lot more, he doesn't have that range that Vanix provides, or this Harris has, on the top side. So a 1v1 between the Harith as well as the Khalid will go sideways for Ven even more.
But the best part about as an Arlot, right, you really are I would say a cheap hero, because the value actually lies in your final slash, not your items, not your ability to do damage, but your ability to displace.
Yeah, as the traction pulse onto 2, able to get that flicker out of the way, and Sayla and Gear walks out safe. But what a start in the mid side. That's SG looking for a little bit more babysitting duties at the top side. But you know, if you're a fighter in the top side, in the gold lane, and you sort of need Powerful to come in for backup, it's not doing too well.
Well, right now, second turtle is up for the side, for the taking for both of these two teams. There's not a lot of movement for for the side of Team Flash, right? Jay is actually still mostly sticking up top, making sure that Ven doesn't really rotate. But here's the problem, right? I would say Ven, in my opinion, should start rotating all the way to the turtle fight to make it to give a bit of a manpower advantage for the side team. But hold on,
it's a one-on-one on the top side, a solo kill over to Vanix. Ven will snap pick that one up. The TOR will land on the turtle pit. Hades will snap pick that turtle up. And Curtizi flying a little bit away. Pop forced to use that flicker to get out. AOG will not be able to stop. Bear in his tracks. Be sandwiched by 4. Gear comes in with the extra damage, but Bear actually walks out safe. Powerful loses his life, but here comes Ven from the sideways to take out Bear in the process. And Ven will fall. It's just delays and it will do, but here comes Aether again.
Quad Channel should be up there all time soon, and he will be able to escape. Aether dancing around, but he's
here comes the re-engage though. Oh man.
What a massive brawl between these two teams. Team Flash right there, extended team fight right there. But ultimately, it is still Bear on the Alice, the TOR. Amazing timing right there. And now Team Evil got bitten in the backside.
So far, the Tortoise has always been won out by Flash SG. I think that was just the nail in the coffin. Hades just securing all of these major objectives in the right time, finding the right angles to take that down. And Joy really needs a bit of momentum before she makes any big movements. The rid of Joy hurts, but only if you can get sort of like any gap going on.
Okay, right now we talk about how Ven wasn't really rotating as this Khalid. I really want to see Khalid to really hard in vain, make sure, you know, Curtizi's life is a little bit as miserable as possible, but this time around, at the very least, you know, Team Evil starting to look upwards, right, around Vanix's lane. Because Vanix, if you leave him to his own devices, he'll grow out of control.
Bottom side's already in shambles. Wave already pushing in from the bot. Evil is playing on that defense, but I don't think the gold lead is way too far ahead for Flash SG.
Yeah, but it is a level, so hold on.
Oh, they're making a beeline to the top side. Demon Force already utilized. You get a Shadow Kill as well, but not enough to take Ven down. Here comes Tectonic Charge, able to get a mirror move, and Sayla gets out of the way. The TOR comes in just in the nick of time, but Powerful will fall, but heads to Hades, and they only lose 1.
Man, the layering, and like this is the problem that I was talking about, right? Yes, it is still a goal. It was before that team fight. They were even in goal, but Hades is actually ahead in levels. Just take a look. Hades already level 11, Aether at level 9.
And not only that, right? Like Aether is not in the vicinity when the fight breaks out. You got 4v2 on the top side. Hades immediately vaporizes Ven. Gear holding on dearly by the turret. Will be able to keep it alive for now. Jay using the flicker to keep Hades safe. That's a nice body block. A good committal of the flicker.
A bit of an overkill to make sure that, you know, Hades actually get out there. Flicker concealed play does have its benefits, I guess, because don't forget, Hades is 5-0-2. There's a lot of shutdown gold, especially when you're on a very small, tight tolerance. You don't want to give that over.
Which Hades able to use that quad shadow to get out of the way. That's a nice juke by Hades to get into position. Magir finally finds Hades, shuts this ninja down as Flash SG loses 2 in the process. Here comes Evil with an answer.
And man, it's just massive coming up from the side of Team Evil, right? Being able to pick up Jay, being able to pick up Hades, and all of a sudden the gold swung in. The gold lead actually closes down just a little bit, and now they're almost equilibrium. But hold on, but if you actually take a look at the map state, it is still Flash SG with a good push down bot instead. Finally, Team Evil was able to crack up top.
I think Evil is just holding on to the magic of team fights. Right now, again, the scales has tipped over to Evil's favors. The gold lead is not too much, but Flash SG, they had a full, solid 2,000 gold lead. And once Gear comes in the picture, once he gets that nice final slash down, I think Flash SG really has to try to overcome and commit into a counter re-engage.
Yeah, we've seen games be literally toppled by one good final slash before, and that's why I was talking about this, like how Gear on the Arlot is technically a very cheap hero.
Oh, that's a good power spike. This is a
nice
go. Final slash. Gear is still keeping up safe, but Cortese will finally take Gear down. I don't think Evil wants to go for a re-engage. Losing Gear is not too much of a problem. Flash SG utilized so much resources. No more Xavier Force, no more TOR. This Lord is free for Evil's taking if they want to risk playing a outnumbered game.
Yeah, Ven does have a Raging Sandstorm if they really want to commit to this one. But we need to see more impact coming out from Ven. But TOR on the other hand, hold on.
There's Raging Sandstorm over on the face of Cortese, able to survive just for now. Hades will snap pick that Lord up, and Sayla falls by the hands of Hades on the backside. Hades just jukes out of the way. And this higher boost is just going crazy. 6-1 and 3.
6-1-3, and on top of that, Vanix on the Zaman Force, just zapping around, outputting damage. That was a very beautiful Raging Sandstorm. However, Team Evil is not ready to handshake these team fights because Vanix is starting to output the damage, and Team Evil cannot hold.
Aether is always not in the midst whenever Flash SG commits to a team fight. And Gear was in the picture as well. I think Evil was just risking it too much. His nice two-man traction pulse, but here comes Alice. Hold on with the TOR. Hades was clear that one up. The AOG will keep powerful up and alive, but the damage is done. Gear falls again.
That is a very disgusting combo. By the corner of the TOR, manages to capture that one. Cortese also picking up that kill right there. Is definitely beautiful and allowing Cortese to escalate out of control. Flash SG has a penetration mid and also potentially bot as well.
3,000 gold lead by Flash SG. You got 4 members pushing in the mid lane turrets. They're trying to get that bubble to burst. It's Lord marching in as well.
I think that's long pop right now. And now it's just, the holy defense pop on the bot lane. That Lord just literally doing God's work down bot as well. And now Team Evil push back into their own base turrets.
4,000 gold lead after the end of that skirmish down the Lord Pit. I think Evil, this is not looking so good for them. They don't really have a lot of late game insurance policy. I think they really need to take either Vanix down, but the traction pulse pulls Gear in. There's a lot of damage that he has to soak up. But Flash SG doesn't want to commit way too much resources on that one. There's a TOR onto 2. Gear's the next to fall. He's getting swiped out. AOG will land out safe, but hit onto no one. Flash SG just making this crazy. The 3 members of Evil down. That's a lot of damage that Flash SG is able to output alongside Vanix, alongside Hades.
Churros, that was sheer micro beauty. Where did Hades go? Okay, that was sheer micro beauty, right? If you notice how the AOG for the side powerful was able to land, you see the final slash going in, the purified pops, and after that, Vanix sidesteps and output the damage.
There's not a lot of damage from Evil. Powerful next to fall. He won't be able to survive this.
It's a bit too much,
looking at the core. They do have Bobby, and that is it. Flash SG taking a look at the throne and bringing us to a game number 4. Match point for Flash.
They are 1 game away to go and lock their names into the grand finals for tomorrow. Team Evil, Churros, something is wrong with Team Evil, and I don't know what is.
I think they want to cook something up with the draft, but the late game insurance policy wasn't there for the side of Evil. I think the damage did not show. I think Ven did not hold himself up well against Vanix. Even with the Khalid, in theory, the Khalid should win out 9 times out of 10 against that Harith just because of the early game burst damage. But the Harith just really snowballed out of control.
Yes, and that's the problem about fighting gold lanes, right? Remember I was talking about how Team Flash was the one that experimented to fight the side lanes first. During the regular season, and to no avail, right? They always find themselves in a losing end, whereas Ben during the regular season has been playing a lot more standard marksmen, playing a lot more the more meta builds like his Harifs, his Granger. I want to see that Van coming back in because, to be honest, as of now, yes, it is Team Evo trying out the Cho on Van earlier just now. It worked out kind of well. Whereas Van also tried to do the 1-1 earlier just now. Yes, I mean, it's not entirely Van's fault, but if we take a look at the MVP, it goes over to Hades this time round.
I don't know where the damage came from. Like, right from the get-go, he was just way ahead of what Aether was essentially trying to do. He was always on the back line. He has so many targets, and even with that shadow kill, is able to melt down tanks. So this man was just crazy in how he played. 7-1 and 7, 6-7-7 GPM. This was just,
It's just easy pickings, right?
Enough said.
Yeah,
Enough said.
The Warcry allows him to basically gain a massive boost of damage, and as he goes in Shadow Kill and just like literally zipping around, the members on the side team Evo really cannot catch him at all, right? Joy goes into his ultimate. All Hayabusa has to do is just press one ultimate and I'll counter your ultimate entirely. That's number one. Number two, I'm so far ahead, I can literally start, shredding Gazokacha. I can shred the Arlot, and technically speaking, if you go into the emblems later on and perhaps into the items, you can also see that Arlot really needs a lot more tankiness, and unfortunately, the final slash doesn't come through because of the purifies that Team Flash packed along themselves.
I feel like this is the same mistake that they made in game number 2, where there's way too many crowd controls, way too many chain stuns, but not enough damage coming through.
Yeah,
I think they're putting all their eggs into one Aether, but it wasn't to avail. I mean, it's just Aether wasn't able to scale up fast enough, or even when there's a team fight, the joy wasn't there.
Yep. If you want me to summarize this whole meta into some form of analogy or some form of scene, but before I actually say that, if you take a look at the items, right, Arlot doesn't really have enough defensive items, right? The Rose Gold Meteor, yes, technically speaking,
it's very defensive the way he's building. It's not very offensive, but best offense is good defense. But he doesn't really have that luxury of farm.
Doesn't really have that.
His lowest farm in his no, that's powerful. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have that, but the Rose Gold Meteor is basically more of an offensive item, something like the most defensive offensive item, right?
Yeah.
But right now, I think what Gear needs is more HP bars, right? Had it been an Antique Kuras, I think that would be a very different game state, right? But right now, if you notice, what Team Flash and Team Evo is doing right here is just proving the point that I personally feel that I'm still leaning towards the traditional marksman gold lanes. Yes, Harif, technically speaking, a pseudo marks. I mean technically a mage.
But it's still traditional.
But it's still traditional, right?
It's a dependable damage dealer in the late game.
Have you seen the meme online where this Bruce Lee looking kind of guy that goes hoo hoo ha ha hoo ha? I don't know the.
Yeah, and you pull up a gun and then you shoot that.
And what Team Flash did is just pull up a gun, bang, done.
Yeah,
right?
100%
That's basically what's going on right now, because all Flash has to do, it's a lot easy to basically execute this kind of roster as compared to Team Evo, right? What we did not see from the side of Team Evo in game number 1 and game number 3 is that Van wasn't rotating towards the mid lane, whereas that's the whole point of the fighter meta, is to be able to rotate to the turtle and make sure that the first turtle is a 5v4.
Yeah. I think also, like, the Evo's entire draft is just eating into the TOR, right? Like, they are a very coagulated heavy draft. Barry just needs to pop in with the orb and just throw down a TOR, and they're all locked down. Flash just needs to gun them down from the back.
Yeah.
Hades cleans up shop. Jay will set things up. I think the combo, and like you said, Cortese just freely shooting the traction pulses. If they shoot something, I mean, it's good. If he misses, it's non-committal, so he gets out safe as well.
Yep.
So very, very good play from Flash SG. It was just rather interesting why Evo will pick up this draft once again.
Yeah, and just Alice, right? TOR locks everybody in right there. Vanix could just easily land down the Zama for zippy-zapping everybody, and it provides a lot of cover for the Harif to basically do his things, right? Like, it's like using the real-world manipulation and allowing the Harif to just running around. The best part is, in the TOR, you're locked down. You cannot move around, and you're just easy victims for the damage from the Harif, and also Cortese, and potentially attraction pulse, and potentially a tectonic charge.
Oh man, Jace, we gotta take a break. We gotta take a little bit of a breather, but hey, it's game number 4, man. Game number 4, Evo 1 game away, and we all thought, like, hey, statistically speaking, Evo had the upper hand going into this matchup. I don't know how to feel about this.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about what they're cooking. I think they're cooking way too much. It's overburnt.
When things get overcooked, they get bitter. And definitely, if you're a Team Evil fan, there's definitely going to be a bitter taste in your mouth because surely you expect a lot more from this team,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There are tools right there from the side of Team Evil to deal with the potential draft from the side of Flash SG. Sayla's ultimate, I don't think I've seen it actually land onto any of the TORs as well because
Yeah.
he's almost instantly get blown up to pieces before Sayla eventually steals or use the TOR. And on
No,
top of that,
to be fair, like Sayla's just using the tectonic charge or the TOR just to get out safe. Like he's
Yeah.
just using it, stun them up, buy some time, and then walk out. Like
a
that's typically
defensive
it.
one, right?
A very defensive use. Actually, even for the Raging Sandstorm AOG, I never really seen a very offensive one. Typically, powerful charging up the AOG will be disrupted by either the stun in from Bear or tectonic
Yep.
charge from Jay. So I think a very good disruption, good read from Flash SG.
Yeah, and if you notice, like in this particular draft, I think definitely a lot of things that we can consider. Even if